All right, before we get on today's topic, I want to let you know or remind you guys, we are Hunterworks. We are making some of the best belts on the planet, in my opinion. Also, if you want to subscribe to our videos so you can keep up with different things we come up with and find, hit our subscribe button down here in the lower left-hand side, or to your right, probably on a computer. Up here is going to be a little white deal on a computer that you can click on, goes to our website, or the topic at hand or our main website link is going to be down below in our description. Today's topic is on, I don't want to necessarily call out a particular brand of gears, it's unimportant. The brand, it's mostly the percentage. And so I named this video, Do Not Buy 15% Gear Reductions or Portals, okay? Why? Most people can't benefit from just 15%. I won't name his name because he probably don't want me to bring out in social media or public, our private discussion. So I'll just say there's a guy that I called one day that does a lot of gearing. I said, what use is there of 15% gear reduction? I said, I cannot even imagine what the hell you do with 15%. He said, little to nothing. He said, the only thing that comes to my mind that any time you could use something in 15% range would be if you was out west, you might have a Polaris RZR, and I'm just using this as an example, four-seater that with 32s on it, and it come with 29.5s, which are really more like 28s, and you was hauling ass and you wanted to maintain that speed, you want to get your gearing back. You went up a small percentage in tire size, and you would want to lower the gears to match it to run that speed. And I said, well, I tend to agree with you. All right, so what got me on this is depending on the vehicle. All right, this is the biggest part of this. Depending on the vehicle, 15% may help some. And I'm really going to talk about a portal style gearbox. There's reasons to do 15% on low or high in some of them, but I'm more talking about portal style gearboxes. I don't care what, there's a couple brands out there now, doesn't matter. Okay, let's use Yamaha Viking. Comes with 25s and you went to 32s and you bought 15% portals. Well, first of all, you went above 15% increase, and you have a Viking that's rather weak, and you put 30s or whatever size I said, 30s, and you didn't give it enough gear reduction to do what you're doing. A Ranger, for instance, has a pretty decent low, but high is way too high for stock tires. You put 30s or 32s or whatever on it, and you reduce it 15. Low would be kind of okay, but high you'd be way off. Okay, RZR 1000. Let's use two different models. Standard RZR 1000. You can go 45 miles an hour, and the speed limiter kicks in low in a standard one. A Rocks and Trail has the 55% lower low range. You pay attention to what I just said. It doesn't have a 55% reduction. It's 55% lower than the other models, in my understanding. Okay, so Rock and Trails, let's just say that guy put 32s on, needed the height, but he's already got a really low and he went to 32s. He'd be one of the very few that 15% on portals to get the height without the axle angles who might actually be okay. All right, that standard RZR owner, he's way off because he can run 45 miles an hour. 15% and 34s or whatever wouldn't be even remotely enough. All right, my personal Ranger sits behind this camera in this room, duck bill, 34-inch tires, a lighter tire. I needed it up off the ground for duck hunting. I didn't want bad angles. That's why I chose portals. I chose 30%. I have a backcountry edition. It's got a lower low and a lower high in it than a standard Ranger. And at 30% reduction, it's just barely, slightly under drive or under geared or whatever the term, you know, you can go over geared or whatever. Over geared may be the term. All right, so and I still run 60 miles an hour and 7,000 RPM in this dude. And you couldn't, I don't think you could run that fast in this Joker with all the weight that's on it and 4 people and all that if you didn't do the gearing. All right, so and the problem I got is I've seen some advertising information up to 32-inch tires run 15% or up to 34s, I think it was. Fellas, that's just general information. So think about what vehicle you're starting off with. What are you trying to accomplish? Because the other day, or I've had 2 recently, a Viking owner, it was bigger than 30s, I think, and 15%. I'm like, oh no, you needed at least 30. There was another guy that it was a Ranger or something, 15% with big old tires, and why is he calling me? Why is these people calling me? Well, guess they're having clutch problems. Well, guess why? Because some jack butt told them to get 15% portals and they needed 30%. All right, so FYI, this is an opinion-based information, but it's factual too, just strictly about what we do here every day in the carnage we see. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everybody 15% is unhappy. They're not, but there's a lot that's going to be. And so before you pull the trigger on something that costs nearly $3 grand, know what you're getting and why you are doing it. And that actually even goes all the way to transmission re-gearing in the Polarises. Not only for your tires, re-gear for your tires and your activity. If I'm gonna run up and down the highway, 12% lower and high with 32s will be fine. If I'm gonna be a rock crawler, I need to go lower because of the activity and what gearing is in here already. So learn about your gearing, what you got in it now, what it's going to be, and you go to your tires. Slow the process down, make sure you get it done right. This duckbill sitting behind this camera is a perfect example of getting it done right. A series of parts, and I talk with people because that has not been my strong suit, gearing and whatnot. But it's just mechanical, and I figured it out over time. All right, guys, just something to think about. If we can help you in any manner, except talking on the phone, email me, Todd@hunterworks.com, take questions, order questions, orders at hunterworks.com. Thanks.